Hey, what's up? Tim Stoddard here, coming to you from my home office in Colorado. I hope you like my new tree. By next week sometime, I'll have my couch in here. The week after that, I'll have my studio set up. So we're making moves. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit longer. We're doing a book review. At the beginning of every year, I reread a book that means a lot to me, a book called Think and Grow Rich, right here. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I first read this book 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. I was about a year into my getting sober. So about a year and a half into my sobriety, I read this book and it had a huge impact on me, both spiritually, but also in terms of the direction that I wanted to take my life. The book lays out 12 principles for success in any walk of life. In these 12 principles within the book, Napoleon Hill routinely references that these 12 principles will help you get money, will help you be financially rich, financially successful. However, these 12 principles really are the framework for anything that you want in your life. Any self-help book you've ever read really stems from the principles in this book. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest you do. This book quite literally changed my life, and I mean that. So let's get started. The overarching principle is something that Napoleon Hill hints at the beginning of the book. And he says there is a principle in this book that is written and spoken about all throughout the book, but he doesn't tell you what it is. And I'm also not going to tell you what it is, because once you see it everywhere. But until you see it, you're always going to be missing something. And part of the beauty of this book is the journey and the self-reflection and the process that allows you to see the quote-unquote secret. And I hope you read the book, and I hope you search for this secret as well. So more tangibly, step number 1 is desire. You have to have a burning desire for whatever it is that you want. If you want something bad enough, you will get it. I always think of an example that all of us can relate to. When I met my wife, I lived in Florida, she lived in Boston. And the hurdles keeping us from being together were really serious. We had to fly back and forth to hang out with each other. It was very expensive. We were both very busy. I was building my company. She had a full-time job as an iron worker. She's a welder. But when you have a burning desire to get something, you will get it. It's just human nature. You figure it out. So the first step to riches is a burning desire, is a desire, a definite purpose. If you have that, you'll figure it out. The second step is faith. Faith is a strong belief that accompanies your burning desire, your definite purpose. I like to think of faith as the belief that what you do today will have an impact in the future. And that's a difficult thing to do because it requires you to delay instant gratification, and it requires you to believe in something that you have no business really believing in. However, if you combine faith with your burning desire, then the steps you take will always be made with good intentions. And the universe, God, as Napoleon puts it in the book, Infinite Intelligence, will always guide you on the path, because all of your energy is moving you in the direction of what it is that your burning desire is. Step number 3, he calls it autosuggestion. More commonly, in the last 10 or 15 years, this is the principle of the law of attraction. The idea is that if you combine your desire and your faith, and then you act as if you already have what it is that you're seeking, then the frequency of the energy that you're putting out to the universe is going to make those things happen for you. And so if you combine desire, faith, and autosuggestion, you know what it is that you want, you do the things that are required to get what it is that you want without a guarantee that they will happen, and then you mix all of that with this cocktail of autosuggestion, with the law of attraction, you act as if you already have it. These three pillars will give you the foundation. All right, number 4 is what he calls specialized knowledge. You have to have something to bring to the marketplace because, as Napoleon Hill says, there's no such thing as something for nothing. This always makes me think of the Twitter thread, the tweet storm, let's call it, of Naval Ravikant, where he calls it specific knowledge. So specialized knowledge is basically a skill that you can bring to the marketplace in only the way that you can do it. So it's difficult to explain until you really develop specialized knowledge for yourself. So, for example, I have experience with addiction recovery, and I have experience as a writer. And me, with my own unique experience and my own perspective, I've been able to combine my writing skills to create marketing resources for this really specific industry, which is behavioral healthcare and addiction treatment. And so only I can do these things. Only me with my specific perspective and skill set can combine my writing skills in a way that I bring to the market in a way that only I can. Okay, so specific knowledge requires you to have like just a fundamental skill, but it also requires an untangible, a thing that you can do that nobody else can simply because you are you and nobody else is you. All right, number 5, imagination. Imagination is one of my favorite chapters because he talks about the ways that as humans we get hunches, we have things come to us. And there's 2 different types of imagination in this chapter. There's the imagination that we have, that we can simply control and portray into the world. And then there's the imagination that comes to us through our own creative expression. And there's some really, really cool exercises in this chapter that teaches you how to allow the spirit of the universe to flow through you, to have imaginative thoughts and to find solutions to problems that aren't there right in front of you, but rather come through you, through this imaginative force that you have. It's a really cool chapter. Number 6 is organized planning. This is the longest chapter in the book. It is my least favorite chapter, and it's always the one that's most important for me to read. It's very instructional. He gives many, many, many step-by-step instructions on how to create a plan. And the idea is that you can have all of these things. You can have desire, faith, autosuggestion, you can have imagination, but unless you know where you're going, you can't get there. You have to have a map. You have to have an aim, a direction, and your organized planning will do this. Step number 7 is a decision. I think this is the most important chapter in the book because the vast, vast, vast majority of people who have a dream or have a goal that they want to accomplish never decide that they are going to achieve their goal, no matter what the costs. You have to decide. You have to make the decision that you are going to do this specific thing. It seems so matter of fact, like, oh yeah, duh, of course. But like I said, the vast majority of people, they give themselves outs. They give themselves reasons why things just weren't meant to be, right? Because they just never made the decision to go after it with full intention, with no other excuses or no other plans or no other backup plans. There's nothing to fall back on. You just decide that you are going to achieve this thing. And I think this is the most important chapter because this is the stumbling block that almost everybody falls on. Okay, number 8 is persistence. With your decision, you now have the strength and the capacity to be persistent. Nobody succeeds the first time, basically at anything. Hardly anybody succeeds the 10th or 50th or 100th time that they try something. persistence really is the quality of the gods. It is the thing that separates those who have and those who have not. It's persistence. Because there's always a reason to quit. There's always a reason to stop. But once you have your plan and you've decided that you're going to achieve whatever it is that you're seeking to achieve, then the persistence is going to, non-negotiable. This just is the way it is. And once you get that monkey off your back with persistence, then it's actually pretty easy. Number 9 is the formation of a mastermind. Nobody can achieve greatness by themselves. And your mastermind group is the collective consciousness of the intelligence and creativity and imagination and autosuggestion and all the other principles that we've talked about through other people. And I love this chapter because he paints some really great pictures where, you know, we've all had this experience where you just feel connected to somebody, where, you know, the quote that we use is you're on the same wavelength, right? But that is quite literally an accurate representation of what happens when you're having a real connected experience with one or more people. You know, if you ever sat around a table with some people that you were just jiving with and you're having a great conversation, there was like flow to it, you know, you were all connected on your wavelength, on your brain frequency. And with your mastermind group, you are able to achieve things that you wouldn't be able to achieve on your own. And so your mastermind group is critical. Number 10, sex transmutation. This is a really fascinating chapter. And the reason it's fascinating is because once you read it with an open mind, you truly realize that your sexual desires, and not even necessarily desires, but your sexual energy is the life force that gives you motivation to do the things that you want to do. So your love for your mate, your love for your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, the desire to want to make them proud, the desire to want them to think positively of you and to have sexual energy for you as your mate. There's countless examples of people leaving their wife or leaving their husband and moving on to another relationship, and their life starts to fall apart and starts to unravel. There's also countless relationships of people, you know, even sometimes secretly wanting to show off in front of somebody that they're attracted to, or just in the back of their mind doing something because they think it'll secretly lead to this person being attracted to them. There's a lot of different examples. They're not all so tongue-in-cheek and they're not all so on the nose. Our sexual energy is a real driving force for our creativity. And we see examples of this with animals all the time. It's perfectly clear that if you see animals that either get neutered or spayed, or, you know, sometimes you see like bulls getting castrated, they lose that intensity. They lose that real creative drive and desire. And so if you can harness your sex transmutation, you have a huge advantage over everybody else. Number 11 is the subconscious mind. The idea of this chapter is that you can reprogram your beliefs into tricking yourself that you've already achieved the goal. It's not quite the same as autosuggestion, because autosuggestion is the way you act. Autosuggestion is really acting as if you already have the money that you desire. But harnessing your subconscious mind is much more about convincing yourself deep down to where you don't actually need convincing. Like, it already is. It's already stated within your mind that you are the type of person that achieves these kind of things. And so if you can harness your thoughts and you can harness the energy that you put out into the world through your subconscious mind, then the success is just naturally going to come into place, because you are the type of person that does the kind of things that leads to this type of outcome. It's very important that you understand how to train your subconscious mind and the difference between that and autosuggestion. And then last but not least is the brain. So if the subconscious mind is kind of convincing yourself, then the brain is like the top of your mind. The brain is your active thoughts, and learning how to control those thoughts in a way that allows you to lead your life with intentionality. So you can observe what it is that you're thinking. Quite literally observe like the top of your mind. Observe your active thoughts. What are you thinking right now? Observe them and then reprogram them to take control of those thoughts so that your active thoughts also lead to you to take the actions that a successful person would take. Let's go through it one more time. Number 1, desire. Number 2, faith. Number 3, autosuggestion. Number 4, specialized knowledge. Number 5, imagination. Number 6, organized planning. Number 7, make a decision. Number 8, persistence. Number 9, form a mastermind group. Number 10, sex transmutation. Number 11, the subconscious mind. And number 12, the brain, the top of the mind. Here it is. Please read this book. It changed my life. It really did. It changed my life for the better. And I haven't met anybody who's ever read it that didn't have a very, very powerful experience reading this book. All right, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.